just make a round ball with it. Nowadays we make it in this very handy small iron, but the whole story of the stroop waffle started more than 200 years ago, around 1800. And the baker made it in a traditional way. They had this huge oven with this iron thing, and the dough went in here, and the baker made it this way. Nowadays, me and my colleagues have a lot easier job to do. This iron is on 200 degrees and only goes in there for 60 seconds, so very short. As you may have noticed, our bakery is called Voltjes, and as I told you, it all started around 1800. There was a woman who was called Miss Voltjes, and she lived here on the dike with her family, her husband and her 9 children. So it was a huge family, money was very necessary. And I don't know if you know a little bit of Volendam, but Volendam is of course Fisherstown. So also her man was a fisherman. So he was like on the North Sea for months long to earn money for the family. But then eventually he died at a storm on sea, so she had to do it on her own. So she opened her own bakery here, where she sold bread and chocolate and later also the stroopwafel. Have any of you ever heard of the city Gouda? Maybe Gouda? Gouda is a city a little bit more in the south of the Netherlands. It's also very famous for their cheese. And the first stroopwafel was made by a baker in Gouda. So originally it comes from there and not from Volendam. In the meantime, the waffle was ready and he broke. I'm gonna make a new one. But as you can see, it's very hot and very weak, so I let it cool down for a little bit. So Miss Voltjes went to the baker in Gouda and she got from him a hot cup of tea or coffee with on top the stroopwafel. This is a very typically Dutch way to eat a cookie like this, because the steam of the hot drink will melt the syrup inside the cookie in just a few minutes. And that's how the most people eat it in a traditional way, especially in the cold winters. So then she brought the stroopwafel from Gouda to her own bakery here on the dike. And that was the first time the stroopwafel was here. And more than 200 years later, I'm still baking it for you guys. So it's a very old Dutch recipe. And it's been here in Volendam for more than 200 years now. To make the stroopwafel, it's not like this. But this one is a little bit ugly. 9 more seconds, 8 seconds. This one is more beautiful. Sometimes you go wrong, sometimes good. It's not like this. But we're gonna make it a little bit more beautiful and that they're all the same size. So we have this thing, and we're gonna cut off the edges to make it perfect round. Now we're gonna make instead of 1, 2 waffles to put the caramel syrup in between. And as you can see, it's a very thin cookie, but it's a lot easier than many people think, because the waffle already falls apart out of itself. Because it goes so short into the iron and that there's yeast into the dough, it creates a kind of